Guys, welcome to another episode of Cream All Access as we take you behind the scenes with this Ferrari 488. And as you can see, it has definitely seen better days. This car was imported into the country by a client. It's a salvage vehicle, of course, and they brought it down to us to obviously have it repaired. Now, first things first, we're going to strip the car down and assess how bad the damage actually is. But nonetheless, no matter how bad the car is, there's nothing we can't really repair here at Cream. So it's simply a case of stripping the car down, getting back to the client, letting him know what's what, and taking it from there. But I'm looking forward to getting the car repaired. Tomorrow we will be stripping the car down and taking it from there. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. I'll see you on the next one. As you can see, Chris has done a great job of stripping the car. We're pretty much almost there. Now we can really have a look at and see what's actually going on. If you come closer, you can see that this entire section is completely snapped off its welds. On both sides, of course, and this is completely crushed anyway, so this has to be removed and replaced. But other than that, we're going to get it on the jig, check it, and make sure that it's geometrically straight. But either way, whether it's out a little bit or not, it's no drama. We can get the car straight and finish it. It's pretty straightforward. Other than that, it looks a lot worse than it actually was. So thankfully, it's not as bad as it looks. One issue that we do have is that it's had a few repairs in the past, abroad of course, and it's got a few different shades of white. So to get over that issue, we're just going to paint the car once and for all and just make sure the car looks pristine, like it was literally just rolled out the factory. Alright, so the issue that we've got here is on impact, this has shifted over a couple of inches, and the only way to really put it back right again is to weld this back in nice and clean, connect it to the jig and give it a good old tug, pulling it back that way, which will in turn straighten the area that's actually bent. We don't want to use a new one obviously, for obvious reasons, because we don't want to damage it, so that's why we're going to weld the old one back on, give it a pull with that, cut it, pull it back out, and then get the new one in. So that's what Dave's about to do now. And once it's done, we can then get the new one in, get the front bar on, and hopefully everything should marry up nicely and line up. Okay, so Dave's done a great job with straightening this and lining it all up, and I'm just going to do the final checks with the measuring tool used for this exact purpose. So that's where that sits there. So if you zoom into this side here, you can clearly see that the lining up of this front end and the crash beam is spot on perfect. Well, that basically means that Dave can now carry on and start welding all these bits in, because at the moment they're not. Weld the beam in, weld the front crash bar on, and then start welding all the framework in. Really happy with how that turned out, and hopefully by the end of today, somewhat, we'll have some real progress with the entire framework all welded up and in situ, so we can start boxing the whole lot off. It's got to be painted, of course, before that. But yeah, really happy with the progress on that. The front end is now finally completely repaired and painted as well. This section has been put into satin black as it is from factory. And now the next step is to now prep the rest of the body, get it ready, get it stripped and get it into the booth so we can paint the entire car and hopefully get this car a new lease of life. Okay. Okay, so the Ferrari has now been painted, it's been removed out of the booth, put back onto the jig, and as you can see, it's come out absolutely flawless. I'm really happy with this one. Come around, have a look. You can see the front end now, it's starting to look like a very OEM factory looking car. Everything going back in its original places, all the wiring looms, all the connections, absolutely everything is going back to how it came out of the factory. Come around, you'll see, this is just a gun finish, guys. So this has come straight out of the booth, finished by gun, and this is pretty much okay to go out the door like this. That's how nice the paintwork's come out. I'm super happy with it, but obviously once the boys are finished with the front end and the car's assembled, the car will then have obviously a good flat and polish, and obviously finish off to factory OEM standard. That's the idea. Come around, have a look. Take the camera around this angle, you really see and appreciate how nice the paintwork is on this car. Really, really happy with that. Well, okay guys, so if you're wondering why Chris is washing the car before it's been actually finished, that's because obviously we want to make sure that the front end section, which was quite heavily impacted obviously in the collision and was an absolute mess when it came in, is completely washed, thoroughly cleaned, degreased before reassembling, because obviously it's been left exposed and it's been in salvage yards and whatnot hanging around for a long time before it's obviously come to us. Now the car's been repaired to perfection. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I mean, you can see quite clearly that it's absolutely immaculate. Everything's gone back nut and bolt to factory specification, so I'm really happy with how that's actually come out. But obviously we don't want to just go start slapping parts on the outside to make sure the outside looks nice. It's just as important to have the inside of the car beneath all the panels optimum condition as well. So that's basically what we're doing here. Chris is going around just drying everything now before the car goes back in and reassembled, and once that's done, then it will come back out for its final wash, clean, valet, interior recolonisation, and a full detail. So yeah. Okay guys, the car is finally about to come off the ramp, and before it does, I just want to take your attention to the repair in detail so you guys can see how perfectly aligned this car actually is and how much we've done our best to put this car to factory specification, and it has been. It's been a real good success. We're really happy with how the car's turned out. Everything is pretty much nut and bolt perfect, gap perfect, and I want to show you guys. So if you come and have a look, you can see all the wheel arch liners have all gone back in with all the original factory OEM nuts and bolts, or mainly bolts that hold this in. Same again on the other side, of course. I'm going to take the ramp up now so I can show you underneath, so you can see how perfectly that's been put back together, down to a T, literally. I'm going to have a look underneath here. Every single nut and bolt, factory OEM bolt has been put back in, along with the stainless steel domed alley bolts that we fitted with the penny washers. These are because the bolts they've replaced generally all go horrible and rusty, and they just look absolutely horrible. So we don't want to put them back on, and we replace them with these high tensile, non-rusting alley bolts. I mean, all manufacturers should generally use this sort of stuff, but obviously it does increase the manufacturing costs, hence why they use a lot cheaper materials. But yeah, we've put it back to how it should be. As you can see, all the gaps, all the panels, everything's been lined up perfectly. Chris has done a fantastic job of doing that, and obviously you can see that all the air guides, these are all brand new, that had ripped off in the accident, they've been replaced as well. If you come closer, you can see right through to the back, all the under trays have been replaced, going back to the original under trays that were on the car when they came from when it came in for repair. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that's all come together now. I just want to share it with you guys so you can see how perfectly this car has been actually repaired. I know everything looks great on photos and on cameras and videos especially, but the only way I can actually demonstrate to you guys how good this car has actually been repaired is by taking you close up to the repair, and in the areas that you don't generally see on camera. I mean, you won't see the underside of a vehicle that's been repaired on a repair build video or anything like that. So we want to really get you involved so you can really see and gauge how much pride we take in repairing cars properly. Okay, so you've seen the underside of the car. Let's take you over the top and show you what the car looks like underneath the hood area. Let's get the car down on the wrap. Okay, so now take your attention to the front of the car, and now you can have a look and see how beautifully this car has been repaired. And I'm not just saying that. This car could go through Ferrari dealership and they would not be able to tell this car's been through a crash as it did. You'll see that all of the factory OEM bolts have been replaced. Again, we have replaced some of the ones that go horrible with stainless steel items, again non-rusting. I mean, you can see if you have a close-up on that one, that's one of the bolts they use. You can see where it's rusting there already. Yeah, but these are specifically designed bolts to hold these panels in, hence why we've used them. But other than replacing these stainless steel ones, we can put the original factory OEM items back in, but obviously where the cars come in, loads of them have been lost in the accident, so we replace them with obviously a much better item anyway. But other than that, the repair is down to a T. You can see everything fits like a glove, everything is lined up perfectly, and more than anything else, let me show you when we close the bonnet how it is. I mean, look at this, hardly any resistance whatsoever, literally just clicks in exactly how it should. And if you look closely, pay attention to all of the gaps, all down the bonnet, down the headlight, all around the bumper. Pay attention to that gap there, the gap in the middle, the gap on that side, and around the other side. Everything is gap perfect, down to a T, literally. I'm really happy with the repair on this car. It's come out absolutely fantastic, really happy. Now, as I said earlier, a couple of last bits and pieces to do on the car, and off the ramp she comes in the next 5-10 minutes, and then we can get it outside and literally give it its last wash, clean and about it, and ready for the client tomorrow. Happy days.